Joey. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I had to make quite the voyage.
Damn, you said the same shit on the other one.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm just a cliche motherfucker.
Bro, he's just like a robot. You just have like pre-programmed responses to various things.
I swam 6 miles, then rode a horse about 10 kilometers, and I arrived at the fucking cosmic.
Are you an NPC?
Am I an NPC?
Yeah.
Bro, what kind of question is that?
I'm
I'm the fucking main character of this shit.
I don't know, man. You seem like a supporting character in my story.
You motherfuckers. Just wait till I get my Kanye on.
Mm-hmm.
The Kanye effect.
Mm-hmm. The Kanye effect. Let's talk about the Kanye effect.
So the Kanye effect is my theory that as long as you keep talking shit, it doesn't matter. Because clearly Kanye just says something crazier the next fucking day and everyone forgets about the last crazy thing. Mm-hmm. So we can forget that slavery was a choice. We can forget about all this other shit because he's tweeting all this other crazy shit. And it's the same thing with Donald Trump.
I was going to say Donald Trump. Yeah.
But I think Kanye perfected the Kanye effect.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to perfect it myself.
Yeah.
And then I want to spread it to the masses.
Let's
I want to
just
be
keep
like
saying some outrageous shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but just like, we can empower people to keep saying crazy because it doesn't matter. As long as you keep talking your shit.
Yeah. Just
matter.
say something more outrageous than the last thing and then wait like a month.
It's my self-help book, The Kanye Effect. How to not give a fuck and keep talking shit. It'll be all right. And clearly it's working for those people.
Yeah.
Kanye, Trump, look, the more people talk about them, I'm sure the wealthier they get, the bigger their brand grows.
He gets more downloads for his albums because of his fucking
because of just the fucking, all that fuckery. And same thing with Donald Trump. Like, his brand is bigger than ever because people don't shut the fuck up
totally
about it.
Huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Huge. Huge
totally.
brand.
I got a huge brand. I'm one of the greatest. Nobody respects brands more than me. Let me just tell you, nobody's talking about this.
He is so
Nobody's talking about
funny,
the Kanye
man.
effect. I want to see more people following the Kanye effect. He knows what he's doing.
Dude, to me, it is like the perfect. Like, I don't support Trump, but I think America deserved him.
Yeah.
Like, you just look like, sorry, America, but like, it's like wake up call. Like, look in the mirror. Like, it's a pretty good mirror to shine on a lot of America.
The only way that Donald Trump could have been better is if he was as fat as Chris Christie.
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, because you got America just fucking fat and lazy
Eating
and
his
depressed and
McDonald's.
addicted to reality TV. And then you get Trump, and it's like, oh, it's such a fucking surprise.
I wonder how we got here.
Whoops.
Oops.
Sorry, libs.
Libtards, you cucks.
You cucks. I'm a centrist. I'm right in the center.
Right in the center.
Right in the center.
Now,
12 o'clock.
What is the center when the left and the right are?
Yeah, it's all bullshit.
Yeah,
anyways.
right.
Bro, I'm all for demolishing these two parties and coming up with like 6 new parties.
Yes. Can we destroy? Let's abolish the Constitution. No,
Start from scratch.
I think we could abolish the president.
No, there's definitely a better way to do things.
I think Donald Trump has proven that no country should have just one leader in charge of fucking so much shit.
A lot of leaders have proven that.
No, for sure. But I'm saying, like, now it's undeniable because we had the plausible deniability with Obama. Like, oh, well, he talks nice and he seems like he's got our best interests in mind. Meanwhile, he's selling out our fucking whistleblowers and he's droning
and that's why I said
deporting more people than any other president combined.
But he had the pretty face.
But he was pretty, man.
He was pretty.
Hey,
and he knew how to talk it. He knew how to bullshit. Where meanwhile, that's why I think
said some really nice shit.
Well, that's why I think Trump is so fitting where it's like, you just know what you're getting. Yeah. There's no bullshit. Where Obama, I was like, oh man, he seems like so great, hope and change. He says all this shit, and then you see like behind closed doors doing some devious shit, selling us out, and not really having the people's interest.
Just got a $600,000 speech from Goldman Sachs right after his presidency.
And it's just like selling the American people downstream. But meanwhile, in hindsight, no, Obama was amazing because
he was our savior.
Yeah, and that's my whole thing. Well, talk is cheap. All right, Obama didn't say grab him by the pussy. I'll give you that. He didn't say that, and he said the right things.
He's 100% a more respectable man.
Yeah, he's
without
way
a doubt.
more respectable.
No, but that's a low bar.
Yeah,
that's a
but
pretty
that's
low
based
bar.
on the words you're saying. Like you need to judge people on their actions. And if you look at the paper for every president, he's some pretty horrible shit. No matter who you are,
he's about on par with pretty much every other president ever.
like even if Bernie would have got it in there, I don't think he would have came out unscathed. He probably would have done some horrible shit. Bernie would have been. He would have watched him just up all the drone strikes.
Nah, I honestly,
make college more expensive.
Nah, I don't think he would have. No, because the thing about Bernie is that I feel like he was principled in that certain things he would not give in on, and then other things he might have been like, well, I got to make a compromise somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think certain things like education, healthcare, I think those are things he actually legitimately would not have ever.
I like
on.
Bernie. I voted for him in the primaries.
Yeah,
and
dude,
then they
I love
fucked
Bernie.
him.
And then they fucked him over.
And that's why I didn't vote in the actual election. You didn't vote? Oh my God. I'm like, dude, all right, first of all.
Pokemon, go to the polls.
Yeah. You fucking Sims. You better go to the polls. No.
NPCs, you're going to vote for me.
I don't know, man. Yeah.
We've already offended at least 90% of the population
I hope
of this
so.
podcast.
Now my fans. We got to fucking thin the herd. Find your audience. I know who my audience isn't. I don't know who it is. I don't even know if it exists, but we'll find out.
Is there even an audience?
I don't know. That's the magic question. Is there the audience? This hypothetical audience.
It's like when the swirls,
right?
The swirl meme.
Yeah, what kind of psychopaths actually listen to your podcast, Kevin?
Dude, honestly, I don't know. How many of you people are psychopaths? Email me at thecosmicperspective@gmail.com.
This guy, you get got a few people chained up in the shed right now. And,
I'm writing you anonymously. I have at
you
least
enlighten me so much.
I have at least
still
3
a serial
slaves.
killer.
Yeah.
Well,
I keep them in my basement and I force them to listen to you on repeat.
yeah, and it's like, I don't know, man.
Hey, you can't control who listens to your shit.
No, you can't. You can't control.
You can't
I
control.
wonder,
your fans.
like, how much can you control in your everyday life? Like, is it 10%? Like, you can control your thoughts and your actions, but beyond that, like, you can't control whether or not lightning strikes, whether or not a dipshit swerves in the other lane, whether or not your girlfriend cheats on you, the guy fucking laced your weed with PCP. You can't control any of that.
Those were very specific references.
No experience. No experience in any of those.
You can't. All right. So you can't control those, but like I do think that you can control the environment you put yourself in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which then can
you're more likely to get your weed laced if you're buying weed from a shady motherfucker.
Yeah, piece of shit. Yeah. So I think there are ways where you can kind of control your environment, but only in the sense that you choose where to be and when to be.
Like, I can't believe she cheated on me. She left her husband for me, and now she's cheating on me. This is such a surprise.
What?
How did this happen?
She would never do this.
How did I get here? And I'm a person who firmly believes that, like, you're responsible for where you're at for the most part. And like I said, a lot of shit happens, but you get to still steer that ship at the end of the day. You get to control, it's still up to you how you react when you find out that your weed was laced or your girlfriend's cheating on you. Yeah. You don't have to freak the fuck out. Most people would. And we're programmed to respond that way.
Yeah, and justifiably so. Yeah.
That is your choice.
Technically.
That's still technically something that's in your control.
Like, it's your choice. But the environmental factors may be more difficult or less difficult depending on the circumstances.
Yeah, and that's where I'll piss a lot of people off, where I'm like, dude, but it really is your choice to be upset. If I say something offensive to you, you can, want to burn me on the stake and
get him fired.
He's the devil. He said a mean thing to me. But you getting all worked up about something I said, that's your fucking fault. Like, why not have thicker skin?
Well, and I mean, there is a level of respect that you should give other people.
No, for
100%.
sure.
But if you say something that is clearly a joke, and then people don't take it as such.
What did I say the other day? This PC culture, that is the most delusional fantasy, the most grandiose thing, that we're going to have a PC culture where everyone's going to be super nice to each other. So I'm all for, like, no,
Kumbaya, my lord.
It would be amazing, right? If everyone would be nice to each other. But the odds are, looking at nature and how it works, that's not how shit works.
There's just a few too many assholes.
But you know what you can do? You can build your own self-esteem up, so when an asshole says something to you, you go, dude, you're a fucking dick, and what you just said doesn't mean shit. Cause
You're a loser.
You're
biggest
a
loser of all
loser.
time.
No, but that's how you got to react to people. Like when someone because whenever someone's talking shit, trying to put you down, it's because they're insecure. So that's the way I look at it. So if someone's talking shit, and then if they do hit somewhere where it's hurt, I'm like, oh damn, that was a good jab. I can still be like, but wait, you only took that jab because you fucking suck.
Yeah.
and then I'm like, you suck, so like I don't really care what you said. And that's what I'm saying. Most people should take that approach rather than taking the approach that, oh my God, he offended. Because what is that? Is that doing anything positive?
Is that
for your
helping
life?
you at all? Like, because you're literally
Figure out that he's an asshole and then stop associating with him.
You're creating a sense of a helplessness where you're like, oh, I can't do, I can't do anything. Like, I'm offended.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, fucking chill,
the victim
bro.
mentality. And people are victims in certain things, but
Totally.
we all are victims. But if you at certain places of our life,
You
you're
gotta
a
draw the
victim of some
line.
circumstance.
Yeah,
but
be a fucking be the superhero, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking don't be a victim.
Don't
no
forget that you're
comeback story.
Yeah.
Comeback story.
Yeah.
Every American loves a good comeback story,
For
bro.
sure.
Lindsay Lohan might get a career again because of her comeback story.
I was home because the only time I watch TV is if I go home and my parents have fucking cable. When I'm flipping through it, she's got like some new, like she bought an island or something. She's got like a resort. There's like a Lindsay Lohan reality show.
What?
And like her whole like thing was like, I'm a boss bitch. And then it was like, I got my own island resort now. And like her show
Holy
was going to
shit.
be like Lindsay making the comeback, which is pretty funny that you just,
Funny
said that joking
because
around.
I said Lindsay Lohan, but I was also thinking Amanda Bynes because I recently saw a story.
I'd take Amanda Bynes over Lindsay any day.
Well, because Amanda Bynes, apparently part of the reason why she was going crazy for those couple of years was like that
someone laced her weed.
No, it was like Adderall,
Adderall
cocaine,
will do that to you.
And like a bunch of drugs or
cocaine
something.
will do that to you too.
Yeah, definitely cocaine. It was a hell of a drug. But no, I do think it is funny where it's like there are certain circumstances where it's like yeah, it's fun to watch them like tank and just like.
Oh yeah, no, there's a
and then afterwards you want to watch them like take off. Like,
yeah, you want to hit rock bottom, and then that's the hero's journey, and then climb your way back up.
Yes.
And then go on another bender and sink even lower.
It's essentially human, right? Though to have that kind of natural hero's journey arc of that, you have to have the lowest point, and then the comeback, the climax, and then the happy ever after.
And I mean, it's unfortunate, but some people gotta go lower than others. But in the lower you go, the higher you can go, right? Something. I'm not a
yin
fucking
and the yang.
physician. I'm not.
No, you're not.
I wanted to say, what's a physics person like a physician?
I'm not a physician.
I don't study physics. I'm not a physician.
A physician is a doctor, and a physicist.
That was
is a person who studies physics. Guys, this is by the way a totally informative podcast filled with fully qualified people.
Yeah, I'm qualified to talk shit.
I'm going to talk about things I don't understand and offend as many people as possible.
Goal.
Yeah, I mean,
we're trying to check all the boxes.
I think we've already checked that box off.
No, I don't know. Who did I really offend? I mean, just whiny people.
It's so funny. Deanna tries to do that voice, and hers always is just like okay. Sorry, I learned that from Pablo Francisco, who he's a stand-up comedian. I also learned the movie preview voice from him. So it's like he in one special does like this summer, and he does like Little Tortilla Boy, and then with starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so that was like what got me into doing the impressions in the first place, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also does this Mickey Mouse Club. And so he was like making fun of like Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and how they all came up.
It's a perfect like whiny voice.
It's the perfect whine. It's also my name is Droopy Dog. Like, so it's kind of like the Droopy Dog cartoon voice. Yeah. But I love doing it to make fun of people.
Yeah. And I
haven't had my food today.
Yeah, these people are like, you guys are just bullies. That's why
you white piece of shit.
That's me.
El Diablo Blanco.
Herrera.
See?
Come at me, bro.
I'm the
Come
white
at
devil.
me with that white shit. I got a Hispanic last name. Doesn't work on me.
But does it work? If it's
it kind of
Filipino?
works. Yeah, you give me some white guilt. I definitely have some white guilt.
I mean,
But
as a white person, I can assure you I am an ally.
yeah, I don't. You could probably relate. I'm living on $20,000 a year. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know where.
Yeah.
Where do you get off telling me I got it made? But I do kind of have it made. You know,
Yeah.
for $20,000,
You know,
which I probably made $25,000. No, I probably made $30,000, but I definitely didn't make more than 30.
not more than a dirty 30. That's it. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it
I
ain't
would
about
s-
the money.
I would say this year. Well, this year I was fully employed by somebody who's actually paying.
Do you know
me
if you
enough
make
money.
20,000 or 30,000, whatever the number is, like, which is poverty in America, that's the top 1% in the world.
Yeah, well, did you know that
fucking
50
world, bro.
Yo, did you know that 50% of America makes $30,000 or less?
Yeah, that's fucked
Yeah,
up.
no, that's dude. That's literally, if that doesn't tell you how
Fucking
unsustainable
Bill
this
Gates and Jeff
government is.
Bezos have like 90% of all the wealth in the fucking world. or
Dude,
some
meanwhile, Jeff Bezos, when he does bicep curls, he does it. he does it on the backs of his workers. He just
shit. Oh,
curls.
where? Oh, okay.
Dude,
Yeah,
he
I
just
was like, where are you going
he
with
just-
Jeff Bezos
He
in
just
the
curls.
gym, bro?
He just curls the last bit of will that all of his workers have while they're on welfare.
And that's why I can order a fucking plunger off Amazon Prime and have
For
it here
like
tomorrow.
$3.
Yeah, have it here in an hour, and we can unclog that toilet.
Dude, and it's so funny because, like, for me, I think Jeff Bezos is like the most fun for me to make fun of because he seems like one of the evilest of all the billionaires. Like, he seems, and I mean, obviously you got like billionaires like Putin or whatever that are like legit evil. But like Bezos, in terms of capitalist evil, he's about as evil as it gets. Like, he doesn't pay his workers enough money. He would rather have a fucking ambulance outside
turn
of a
on the
warehouse
AC,
than turn
yeah.
on the AC in a warehouse. He'd
That
rather have
shit's
people
hilarious.
literally going to the hospital
Dude,
because of heat stroke than
I
to
s-
just pay for AC.
I saw some fucking
That's evil.
some meme, and it was because I guess Wikipedia sent him a letter and was like, Jeff Bezos, since what is it, Alexa pretty much uses Wikipedia to answer every fucking question.
Are you gonna pay us?
Are you should pay because Wikipedia is self-funded, right?
yeah.
So they're always asking
Yeah,
for donations.
donations.
They're like,
Mhm.
well, Jeff Bezos should pay the donation. It's not much. And, you know, since his
Keep it
product
alive,
uses
yeah.
it. And then it was just like a meme of Jeff Bezos like reading that and then just like boom on fire in the garbage can.
I mean, honestly, like he seems like the type like who legitimately has no feelings for the people below him at all. Like,
But do you think like
I don't know.
is there enough positive things that have come from Amazon that kind of balance out? I'm just curious. I don't know. I'm ignorant to any of this
in
conversation.
the world, probably, but in how his company operates, probably not. Like how the balance of the company of positive to negative now is probably negative, but to the world collectively of what it's achieved, yeah, probably still net positive. But you know, like Jerry was saying on the podcast, you got to crack some eggs sometimes to
to make an omelet.
Yeah, but at the
I've
same
done that.
time, I do think that I know we made one earlier. But like I do think at the same time, like now it's easier to make a better balance, and this dude is not giving a fuck, bro. He's making more money than anyone else. He's the richest person in the world.
But when
right?
do you think is it like out of his control? Because it seems like he built this monster and now it's just like running rampant.
Yes, however, can't he like repurpose his funds though? You know what I mean? Like, can't he take his money?
No, bro.
and-
He needs 6 yachts.
Dude, I need at least
12
$17
private
billion
jets.
dollars. Like, dude, yeah, fuck that guy. I don't know, fuck that
It's
guy.
pretty amazing that he came from fucking selling books on Amazon to
Yes.
like.
No, that's not to take away from his accomplishments. It's just that, like, dude, you could run your company less evil, and you're choosing not to. Like, he could pay them more money. He's choosing not to.
Call me a socialist. I think after you get a certain amount of success, we should just take it away from you because clearly you could do it again if we force you to restart.
Right.
And that's probably more helpful for our society. Because,
I mean,
like,
better
I'm all
than
for a
hoarding.
salary cap. Who needs a billion? There's a single human being that needs $1 billion.
No.
And then I get that, oh, no, but he's going to build separate enterprises and all this economy bullshit talk we got. But,
Yeah, but it's like, but think about it. How many jobs is he actually creating versus how many is he eliminating actively with all of his automation?
No, I don't fucking
You know,
Yeah.
like
So
I feel like his ultimate goal is to not pay anybody and then keep all the capital. See, it'd be one thing if these companies built up all this capital, took the capital, and actually then repurposed it back into its workers and the people who are building it. But that's not how this works. It usually is hoarded, is given to the executives in a disproportionate amount than all of the workers, and then we're making more productivity than ever, yet wages are lower than ever in terms of the disparity between productivity and wages. It's getting further and further than it ever used to be in the past. And it's not like we didn't have the fucking billionaires of the past, like the Rockefellers and the JP Morgans. Like, it's not that they didn't exist, but the workers were paid closer to the productivity level. Now it's like that balance is totally off. Wages are as low and suppressed as possible, while productivity's up through the roof because of technology and computers and all this shit.
Well, and I mean, that's what I don't know. I didn't go to business school, but I feel like they teach CEOs of these companies like, oh yeah, you got to cut fucking corners because, you cutting a few employees doesn't seem like much, but on the grander scale, that's going to save you a couple mil each year. So then you know, all the companies I've worked for, it's very clear that,
it's a heartless calculation.
Yeah, they're like, well, the service isn't going to be as smooth, but we're going to save a lot of money here. So we're just going to we're going to cut a lot of corners.
Yeah. Well, I guess my problem with the whole thing is just that to me, it feels like they forget who's actually making this company run, and it's the people. Like, the people are the company.
If it wasn't for me, motherfucker.
Yeah. No, honestly, if it wasn't for the
sure.
ground level people. Dude, the ground level people are your direct representatives of your company. So the people who are working the front desk and all that, those are the people who your customers are interacting with.
Sure.
So if you're not taking care of these people and you show them that you don't give a fuck, then they're going to not give a fuck with these customers, and you're going to end up with a worse
It goes
product.
down the whole chain.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you just paid your workers a little bit more money, it seems like it will cost you money at first. Like, if you just look pure dollars, it seems like it's costing you money. And maybe on some level it is, but when it gives you the quality in return of what the workers are willing to now give you because they feel valued, that is a psychological thing that can't be quantified that will actually improve the overall function of your company.
No, for sure.
So that's where I think I see the disconnect is like they literally only look at numbers. You got accountants and computer systems that are just looking at bottom lines without actually looking at the greater picture of how that's affecting their workers.
Yeah, and I think some of these companies get so big that
they can't.
It's almost like it's almost impossible for Amazon to fucking, treat. How many fucking employees do they have, and how can they get personal with that many people?
Well, they would have to cut into
They should
their
definitely
profits.
try to do something different.
They would have to cut into their
better.
profits a little bit and then reinvest it in like health insurance or whatever they want to provide their workers for benefits.
Because it is true. When I've had bosses in the past that I really respect, I work harder and I feel bad if I'm cutting corners while I'm working because I'm like, oh man, he's a great guy. I don't want to let him down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the opposite. When I have a boss where I'm like, this guy's a fucking dick. It's like as soon as he turns around, I'm just fucking like,
fuck off.
Yeah, fuck off. Exactly. And they're like, oh, why aren't you giving it 110 like so-and-so? I'm like, because I know that you're
I hate
a dick.
you.
Yeah, and I hate you.
Because I hate you.
No, and it's also, I'm also, in most of my jobs, are like dead-end jobs, starving artist life.
Yeah.
But no, I know that I'm just a number. And I know that, like, what did I see? I saw something funny. It was like, yeah, just remember you're always replaceable, and that ad to replace your job when you die is going to show up faster than your obituary.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's some grim shit,
Damn,
but it is
some,
true.
Yeah.
But it's like they're going to be trying to fill your spot with someone else.
Well, so here's the thing, though. Yes, you're replaceable, technically. But sometimes the work you provide is really not replaceable. Like, dollar-wise, yes, I could pay somebody less money or whatever, but then you're literally going to get a shittier worker, because you get what you pay for.
No, that is true.
If you pay a living wage, if you pay a legitimate, decent wage, you're going to get decent people. Now, does that kind of, like Jerry was saying on the podcast, because I do think some of his ideas really resonated with me, where it's like, are then you just going to fuck out all these people who have no skills, like the unskilled workers who right now are getting paid dirt wages, but at the same time probably wouldn't get paid
can't they
anything?
learn skills? Can anyone learn some fucking skills?
Yes, everyone can learn skills. Some people aren't going to, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'll never fully understand.
Me neither. I take pride in my work.
Or no one will ever understand it. I don't think it's understandable, but it's like you do, in theory, you're like, oh, you should chase your dream, you should do what you're passionate about, but if everyone did that, unless everyone there's a passion for everything, like maybe then who is doing these jobs, and maybe it's part of paying dues.
And not to disrespect these jobs either, because we need people like that, but it's more of like that's no one's dream career. No one's dream career is to be a bagger at fucking
I don't know, man. There might be
Publix.
one. There might be one motherfucker out there,
dude. And if it is, that's one, and that's not enough for the millions we need. So that's all I'm saying is that if everyone did what they truly loved, I like to think that we would all find different niches, but I think that would require the automation of every menial job that everyone universally hates. Those need to be gone. And then all you have left are the jobs that people actually want. And then you would be able to have an endless supply of skilled laborers, of people who actually want it. But this is an ideal world that's just as fairy tale as the PC world that everybody wants. So
and that's why America is so appealing, because like you look around, you're like, oh well, this person's doing that. Kanye West is getting paid to do what? And like, these people are. You see people where, and they're like, I want that lifestyle. And then meanwhile, most people are working like slaves for jobs that they're not really. But you see a way out. So. I mean, I was like, well, I'm gonna try to get the fuck out. I'm like, that's the goal. But that's whether or not I obtain that or not is to be determined. But so
yeah, but come on, yeah, you and I both know, and we've had this fucking
yeah,
talk
we know I'm gonna
times.
fucking make it.
Yeah, there's no question.
You motherfuckers better.
No, for real. Look, like this is a prophecy right now. I'm just telling you guys, like we are going to do what we want to do, and the reason why is because we know that all it takes is persistence. It does take a level of strategy. You can't just be like, well, I'm gonna just be a rapper, and then you just like, dude, you suck though. You have to.
Yeah, you gotta
No,
you gotta build the fucking skills.
You have to build the skills.
But the first step is taking a lot of people. It's like you're in a place you don't like. The first step is getting out of that fucking place. And so many people say like, well, I don't even know what I want to do. How many kids are in college and they graduate with their bachelor's and they literally say, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Bro, you just studied. And I understand it's ridiculous to have you're applying for colleges when you're a junior in high school.
Yeah, how are you
What do you want
to
to be? You're supposed to know. You're supposed to know when you just been going to fucking high school.
I'm fucking 17, dude. I don't know what I want.
Yeah.
My brain isn't developed.
So I think it's almost flawed in that extent, and then it almost seems rigged in that you get out of college and you're saddled with so much debt that you can't do what you want. Now you got to find a job just so you can pay. Like I think, like I said, I make no money right now, but I'm chasing the dream and I'm having a blast. But it's really only possible because I don't have any fucking debt. I didn't have student loans. I have no debt. I have no car debt. So I just see that people get saddled with debt, and then that is the real ball and chain that holds you from changing your life.
It's a cycle you can't get out of.
If you own a fucking house in Illinois and you have a wife in Illinois, and
you're in debt.
You're in debt, and then God forbid you don't like your life and you want to try to separate from your wife and move somewhere warm. Man, good fucking luck. You got to get divorced. You got to sell the house. That. Not to say you can't do it, but that's a lot of things in your way.
Yeah.
Whereas, like
no,
I
it's
said,
definitely a lot of barriers.
I definitely know. I could say I'm lucky that I don't have those things in my. But I also strategically didn't put those things in my way. I really thought about that shit going into certain things, and I'm like, it's not fucking worth it. And it also just goes to show like what you can do on a budget, man. Because I mean, I just budget very well, and I stretch my money as far as I can.
No,
fucking
definitely.
Cook every single meal just to save money.
No, for sure.
And
eating out costs
it's like,
a lot of
so when people say like, oh, you can't survive on that wage, I'm like, it's tough. I get it, but there is ways to do it if you're smart about things. But yeah,
if
you
you have a
can't be at the
credit card.
fucking bar every night when you make fucking $20,000 a year. You can't even fucking be at the bar every night if you make $60,000 a year. Like,
I know.
And trust me, I've been at the bars. I have a lot of friends that hang out at the bars, and I'm a fucking bartender, part-time bartender. It's staggering the amount of money people spend
On
one
alcohol.
night on alcohol.
The
Just
worst-
trying to have a little fun and trying to
Literally
show off.
The worst drug of all time.
No,
Literally the worst drug. Like for me, it's no
Yeah.
question. Alcohol is the worst drug.
well, it's the
because
most prominent drug
it's
too.
so prominent. It's so dangerous. It's so easily addictive. It's so easy to not realize you're addicted because of our culture. To me, it is the stem of so many problems in our culture.
No, and it's
in
built
America.
in. Like, it's almost a miracle that you and I aren't alcoholics, because everything in the path is pointing us towards alcohol.
college,
Is
binge
a
drinking.
Yeah,
That's
college
all it
is a
is.
direct fucking sign to drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole thing, when I think what really drives everybody's drug use is wanting to escape their mundane
this prison of a reality that we've
when
created.
you find yourself in a place that you, like I said, it, God forbid, you don't like your job and you don't like your situation. Well, what's easier than digging out of that hole is just drinking, being content in that fucking hole, and down in a bottle of
Numb
fucking whatever. Yeah.
Numb it down, baby. Numb it down. I don't want to feel nothing.
And meanwhile,
tonight.
you're sinking deeper and deeper.
Yep.
And
you're delaying it. You're not addressing the core issue that is
alcohol
causing
is
it.
so sneaky, because like you can drink for a year or two and your body doesn't develop an addiction to it yet, or a dependency on it. But then after a couple of years, and just like out of the blue one day, you're like, I need a beer. Like,
Yeah.
this is my, like, I'm like, oh, prove, like, no one likes the taste of alcohol.
Yeah.
You give a fucking 6-year-old a beer, he spits it out. He's like, what the fuck? No one would ever pick a beer over Kool-Aid, ever, over orange juice, over anything, and if it didn't get you drunk. But because it gets you drunk, your brain begins to associate the good nights
feelings,
and the good feelings with the taste of beer. And then people say, oh, man, I could really go for a beer. No, you
could really go for a drunk.
Yeah, you could really go for getting drunk. That's it. And then, no, man, I just want a couple beers. Okay, you can go for getting a little drunk.
You can go for a buzz.
But and that's the whole thing. And if it tasted like water and it got you drunk, everyone would be fucking dead. So there's a reason that it doesn't taste that good.
Yeah,
and that's
evolutionary.
Yeah,
wise,
evolutionary because otherwise you'd fucking drink so much and you just
Here's my proposal. Instead of drinking the next time you go out, if you're able to find it, just eat like 0.3 grams of mushrooms and tell me you don't have just as much fun while being way more conscious of what the fuck you're doing.
Oh my God, Kevin, that is so irresponsible for you to preach about psychedelics. There's probably a little kid listening and he's going to go take that. I'm like, all right, as if there's not fucking commercials for Budweiser everywhere. There's not
on the TV.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, there's still a stigma around psychedelics, but it's like, goddamn, is alcohol 1,000 times worse
and more accepted.
And more accepted, more prominent.
Dude, not to mention mushrooms, like toxicity wise and overall harm, is literally the safest drug out of all drugs.
Yeah. The worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to end up in a psych ward. And that's kind of bad.
No,
but there's probably a reason you needed to go there.
So I was just listening to a podcast earlier today. And I think maybe it was Aubrey Marcus's podcast, actually. And they were talking about how mushrooms even has less psychotic breakdowns than cannabis. So, like, literally people get more like the famous cops who called the cops on themselves for eating brownies.
Oh,
I think we're dead. Yeah, we're dead. Like, that guy had a worse freak out than I think you would if you had a reasonable amount of mushrooms.
Yeah.
And the overall like end result, even after a difficult trip, still is a net positive more so than like weed.
And it's like whatever. People are gonna say whatever the fuck they're gonna say. I don't give a fuck.
Honestly,
but mushrooms and LSD
fundamentally
changed my whole life.
Completely.
Changed my whole perspective on everything. Just like opened my eyes to so much shit. And it's just like, and I don't abuse these drugs. I'm not eating acid every day.
Dude, hell no.
I'm not even microdosing every week. I'm not even like, I don't have the supply to do that. So that's kind of the safe thing that's built into the system right now is like, it's hard enough to even find these drugs, which is unfortunate. But there's a lot of people that I'm like, there's a reason that the guy who made AA, he came up with the whole thing on LSD, and there was a reason that the last rule used to be
supposed to be take
LSD.
Acid.
Because I mean, it can just
and LSD is like one of the most studied out of all the psychedelics. There was actually more information before they made it illegal. There's more information about the effects psychotherapeutically of what it's able to do for helping people overcome addictions, overcome alcoholism, reprogram their brain, change the way that they view things. Like, I know it sounds crazy to the average person who's never done a psychedelic. You're thinking, oh my God, LSD, that's up there with heroin. Because people always love when they're like marijuana's a Schedule 1 drug, which is tied up there with heroin and blah, 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 and LSD. I'm like, whoa. The first thing, sure. Yeah, Schedule 1. LSD, though, let's move that one down because that one's on par with mushrooms, honestly.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's a huge negative social stigma because Timothy Leary fucked up and he ruined the whole movement by trying to put it on everyone when I'm going to tell you right now, psychedelics are not for everybody.
Well, and that's the whole thing. So right now it's illegal and someone's argument could be like, well, this kid had a psychotic break and jumped out the window and died. Okay, but how many drunk drivers
just
kill people
somebody
every weekend? Yeah. And we don't stop putting Budweiser commercials on TV. There's still Miller Lite fucking billboards everywhere.
You really can't make rules for the minimum. You got to make rules for the masses.
But I would honestly agree with like, yeah, maybe we should stop advertising alcohol so much when there is literally a drunk driving incident every single day. And someone dies from drinking alcohol every single day. And 90% of the billboards out there are for alcohol. So I get that it's not going to change because it's built into the whole economy and the whole system. But it's like, ooh, man, I don't know, LSD... with my open eyes, how I'm seeing the world. It's like, I kind of see they're controlling us with alcohol. And it's like, I wonder what percentage of the population is actually somehow dependent on alcohol. Not that you drink every night, but you
Yeah,
drink socially
but
on the weekends.
Well, there's different levels of alcoholism. So there are people who are the type who every time they drink they black out because they just don't have a limit. Like they just keep going.
I used to love black.
Then there are people.
Not really. I've done some stupid shit.
Yeah,
when I was
blackout's
blacked
not
out.
fun. I've done it twice, and I mean.
Yeah, like don't get me
hate it.
wrong. I've gotten drunk. It's
Yeah,
not to say I'm not
yeah.
like
We're
I'm gonna
not
go get
saints,
drunk as
bro.
soon as this podcast is over.
No, we're
I'm
not.
just kidding.
Yeah, we're not saints in that.
No, but I'll probably have a drink tonight over at the old Chicken Dolphin factory.
But in general, you and I really don't drink. I mean, we'll drink every once in a while on a special occasion, but like we use it the way that it's supposed to be used, which is just lightly,
Yeah.
not the like coping mechanism that people have often used it for. But one thing that I want to make like that I think is important is just in general knowing that these psychedelic drugs, which are known to expand your mind, to raise your consciousness, to make you more aware of things that you might be doing, are the complete opposite fundamentally of the escapism that people often go with alcohol and even weed. Weed can also, it can be mind altering and mind opening, but it also can be used to numb things. And I've used it to numb myself before. I've used weed for that exact purpose.
Yeah. No, a lot of people do.
Yeah. So I think, and not to say you can't use psychedelics for escapism, but I will say it'd be pretty hard to just only like to do, like, I feel like even if you did it for like, let's say a stretch of time where you did it a little too much, you'll hit a point where you realize you need to take a break.
But what are you talking about, Kevin? You're escaping reality when you start tripping balls and you start seeing things that aren't there.
One, I don't see things that aren't there. And two, I find that I get more in touch with reality than I ever am in any other state, aside from meditation.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, dude, if you've never done psychedelics, you're not going to understand.
You can know what we're talking about.
You know, I mean, before I ever did them, I was very intrigued because I'd heard about them, and it was still way different than what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be like this thing based on everything I heard, and maybe in some ways it was close, but it was way different. And I think everyone's experience is different. But yeah, I mean, from what I've personally experienced with it, I'm like, bro, like, I want to scream it from the mountaintops,
dude.
Bro.
Yes.
Do mushrooms. It'll
Literally,
change your
it will
fucking
literally
life.
change your
if
life.
you're depressed, you should probably do mushrooms.
I mean,
I'm not a doctor. Once again, what the fuck are you talking
right?
about?
We're
Like,
not. You're not a physician.
But man,
or a physicist.
But people can look up the research that MAPS and all these places are doing, and they're using mushrooms for PTSD, anxiety, depression, and it's,
MDMA too.
And they're saying it's
and that
working.
MDMA is also like tricky because I find that MDMA, and keep in mind I've never done it, but I'm just basing it off of what like researchers are saying about it. Is that to me MDMA seems really good when in a controlled setting, not when you're taking it at a fucking rave. Okay, there's a difference.
There's
you know
a difference between set and setting.
Set and setting is
and
huge.
if you're using it as a tool, which I like to use a lot of these drugs as a tool, like I'm like
not just a drug.
Yeah, it's not. Sometimes it's fun, recreational.
Yes.
And
every once in a while.
Well, every time it's fun. Like
Yes,
no matter
it's always
what,
fun.
I'm having a good time. I'm laughing my ass off. But sometimes I've definitely tripped with the intention of like, man, I kind of feel a certain way, and I want to explore these feelings, and you
Let's
know,
work through
maybe
some shit.
what can I figure out from this trip? And most of the time I get some answers, you know, directly or indirectly that are like, oh, I should do this, I should do that, and then I do those things, and it's like, oh, holy fuck, the advice I got from the mushrooms, like, completely put me in a better place. So you know, it'd be foolish for me to try to take credit for that, to be like, oh yeah, I mean, I just got here, you know.
I willed this all to my existence.
Yeah,
and here's the thing though, it is your mind that is doing these things. However, these seem to unlock parts of your mind that are normally not accessible. That is where the psychedelics come in. It's not the drug itself that's doing it. It's the way that the drug allows your brain to perceive things differently. That is the magic. And that's where people need to understand the difference, is that it's not like the drug just gives you all these insights. Your own brain gave you the insights, but the drug unlocked a part of your brain that you previously maybe were never accessing or never had access before, that allows you to see from a perspective you never saw before, that now makes you realize some of the unconscious behaviors that you may have been participating in.
And then it's on you to implement that shit.
Yeah,
and
you
not
could
just go back to not just go drink a bottle of fucking Jack
right
and pass
after.
the fuck out. Like,
Yeah.
You still have to You know,
You have to put in real work into fundamentally changing and altering the environment that you are in. Because if you're not creating the environment around you, then the environment is creating you. Whereas if you create the environment around you, the environment is still going to create you, but now it is creating it based off of something that you are intending.
Yeah.
Whereas before, the environment's already affecting you. And if that environment you're not controlling in any manner, then you are totally a victim to outside things, which goes back to what we were talking about of control. How much do you control? Well, you control the situations you place yourself in. And then from there, it's up to chance of the environment.
Well,
but there are easy ways to
and
put
the most
yourself in better
empowering thing
situations.
to me that is like a mantra and a philosophy that I live my life by is that you control your perspective, which is the most powerful thing. And so by that, I mean you control your thoughts. Your thoughts generate your emotions create your actions. Then your actions create reactions that
On
then
the
create
environment.
thoughts. So it's this big loop. And if you just decide to take control of your thoughts, and you know when that negative self-talk pops up, whatever your weeds laced and your girlfriend's cheating on you, and you start going, "Fuck, man, my life fucking sucks." Realize that you're generating those thoughts. Your brain, it might seem like that it's this rampant, uncontrollable thing, but that's your fucking brain, and you can learn through like
stop that
meditation
cycle.
and just mindfulness. And that's why I wish they taught us this shit in school, because it's super helpful, is to be like me, to be able to identify that, like, oh wait, I'm being negative right now. Let me just switch this right quick, which is easier said than done, but it can be done. And it's like, I don't do it every time. Like I still get in slumps and stuff, but I'm way better at this point because I've been practicing this shit for a minute.
Dude, for sure.
And
for sure.
it's like, I can really be like, oh, I don't want to feel that way. So I'm going to stop thinking about that bullshit and fuck her. I'm not talking to her anymore, and I'm not buying weed from that guy ever again, man. Because I was tripping on PCP for it. To be clear, I've never had my weed laced. But
no, but I completely agree with what you're saying, because it ultimately, and of course, well, let's just jerk each other off.
oh yeah, wait, you want to jerk each other?
But
This podcast just took a drastic turn. All right, cut the camera before we get to
but no, but ultimately, like, I do think that the reason why that we've clicked, like, in terms of when I met you, the very first
dude, if we were
conversation
gay,
ever had-
we are a power couple, bro.
I mean, because ultimately we have both come to similar conclusions.
Sometimes I wonder if we are gay. I'm like, man,
we spend so much time together.
No,
Well-
we're for roommates, as far as roommates go, it's like it couldn't get better.
It literally is the most ideal situation. We have similar career aspirations, and then we want to help each other in each other's endeavors. I mean, like, you literally can't ask for more. And this is the universe rewarding both of us because we were trusting the process.
Right.
We were doing what we wanted to do.
The way we met was so
we,
funny,
dude,
and just
we
like
set an intention, and we happened to meet each other and realize, oh shit, this is an important puzzle piece to my story. And then we just now look
and
at
you
what
know
we've
what
done.
I think? I want to give some credit to Second City for training me, because we met because we both went at Second City. But you go to Second City and you learn the golden rule, yes and. I think you and I get along because we yes and the fuck out of each other. It's crazy.
dude, all
where
the
I could have had a roommate where I would say some shit and they'd be like, no. Like, but I feel like we're both pretty good about being like yeah, dude,
yeah, that's a cool, and we could
that's
do this
fucking
too.
hilarious.
Yeah.
We could do that too. Which is, I think that's like such a great thing.
That's just a good attitude
that I
to have.
learned, from improv indirectly, and I've like always trying to apply that to life. But I'm like, that's a lesson that everyone could fucking use. Like, quit saying no to each other, man.
And
I fucking hate that.
We have the positive feedback loop too, where, like you said about the yes and, like, we encourage each other. So like when you have an idea of something you want to do artistically, like, I'm gonna encourage you. Like, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, dude, fuck, go for it.
But there are some people where you go and you tell them your plan, and they will just
shit on
pick
it.
it apart. They will be like, well, this isn't why I guess. And meanwhile, it's all hearsay. I know it's imaginary if I say yes to you. Yeah, it's gonna work, Kevin. Still, that's empowering you, and that's gonna help you on your journey. Although negative, I've definitely fed off people that told me I couldn't do shit. Sometimes I wonder why I'm trying to do some of the things I do, and I look back and I'm pretty sure it's just because a couple motherfuckers were
Said
like, "You
no.
can't do that."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You just wait, motherfucker."
Yeah. See my
If
plan,
I grew
bitch.
up with a bunch of yes men around me and shit, I probably would be in a completely different place. But I wonder, would I be in like this way better place because everyone was saying yes, or would I have just gotten soft as fuck because everyone was?
I think it's important to have a little bit of pushback.
Yeah.
But what you need to
And
realize,
real criticism is super useful.
that's
But a
useful.
lot of people are just talking shit because they're disappointed in themselves,
and they couldn't even try.
Yeah, and then they see you doing some shit, and they're like, "Who's this motherfucker stepping out of line, bro?
Yeah.
Go back to being a fucking sim, bro. You can't step outside the matrix."
Where's your green diamond, motherfucker? I don't see nothing above your head. Yeah, only a halo, bitch.
Ooh.
No, but for real though, I think it's really important to realize that it is important to get criticism, but to understand when somebody's criticizing you to then help you and like literally they want you to just be better versus somebody who's like trying to shit on your idea so that you never even start.
Yeah.
Because really 90%, like, dude, this podcast, I never planned for this to go to this point. All I had to do was start it. I just needed to go. And that was it. Just start the fucking...
But if you had someone telling you, no, you don't do that. This is going to
Don't talk like this. And
no, and it's not that I didn't. I had people telling me, oh, don't talk about this on the podcast, or don't do this, or like, don't do that. And, you know, to some degree, there are certain things that I would listen to because I was like, well, you know, that's
And then the rest of them, you were like, hey, guess what? Fuck off.
Yeah, well, and then the rest of them is like, yeah, sorry, but this is what it is. And like, sorry, Mom. But like, I know that you don't want me to talk about psychedelics.
Kevin's mom.
I know that you don't want me to talk about psychedelics, and I get it because for you as a parent, it's hard to ever justify like, oh yeah, let my kid do drugs because of that, just that narrative and the words alone, right? But then aside from that, there's also the huge social stigma of psychedelics where most people they fundamentally don't understand it. But I think it's important for me to talk about these things because we can destigmatize the actual purpose of the drug so that people then feel less mystery about what they are and they understand, oh, people use it for therapy. Oh, people use it to figure out stuff about themselves. Oh, people use it to realize bad loops that they're in. And,
and guess what? Most religions stem from psychedelic use. 100%. And guess what Christmas stemmed from? You know why there's ornaments on the trees? Some people think because they used to hang mushrooms up to dry. What is it, Amanita muscaria, which is that red mushroom. So it literally looks like an ornament.
Mushroom.
Yeah, and that goes back to stockings too, and this whole idea that Santa's going to come and bring presents. And I was thinking about that. There's I forget the book, but a guy kind of wrote a book. I heard about it on Joe Rogan, talking about how mushrooms and Christmas really all goes
the cross or something like that.
So people can look into that, but there's some art that goes way back, and you see these Christmas paintings from like hundreds of years ago, and there's mushrooms on the tree instead of ornaments, like, and it makes you be like, because to me, I'm like, man, if the tradition was that me and my family all trip balls together on Christmas, dude, that'd be so dope. Hands down my favorite holiday. Right now Christmas is like, it's cool, you get to see family and the presents and shit, but I'm telling you, I'm 28 now. Like after 28 years of doing that, it's like, it seems old. It seems stale. My family's not religious. No one gives a fuck about Jesus. Jesus isn't in Christmas.
Sorry, Jesus.
And the older you get, and then people don't care about presents, and it's just kind of about. It's a good excuse to get together, but then some people feel forced to be there. Like I don't even want to.
So one
not
of the
to get all negative. Christmas is right around the corner.
But I feel you, and I think.
But a trippy Christmas would be amazing.
One of the things that I think would be really powerful, and that would fundamentally change the culture, is that if families did trip together, I think you could genuinely work out issues that each family member has with one another. Yeah. Because there's not a single family that doesn't have dysfunction. There's not a single name one family that's perfect, bro. They don't exist. No. So if you were to have a nice controlled setting, good setting, right? With a good mindset, Christmas, and gifts and whatever. But then part of it was that you would all take mushrooms, and not an exorbitant amount, like
just
a gram and a half or something.
Yeah.
And just enough to where then you cap and a stem.
Catch a wave.
Catch a Kid Cudi, dude. But really, like, just get everybody together. We have a cap and a stem, and we are able to talk things out and like reflect on the year.
I literally pitched this to my family last Christmas. I forgot about it. On Christmas Day. I was like saying that, and because I forgot how it came up, but they were like joking around, but like talking about my psychedelic use, and I was like, and they're like, yeah, maybe next year you bring some mushrooms to Christmas. And I was like, this is what I want. Which I don't have any mushrooms. Otherwise, I might actually try to do it.
Damn.
I might dose the fucking...
if you can find mushrooms,
dose
email
the turkey.
me at thecosmicperspectivepod@gmail.com. I'm just kidding. Don't do that, but seriously. I'm desperate. I'm looking. No, but I really do think that could change the culture of each individual family, and then the effect of people being more cohesive and having a better family life ends up leading you to be a better, more balanced human being outside of the family, which then allows you to be a better, more balanced human being in society, which allows society as a whole to be a better, more balanced culture. And then that culture is going to only feed into enhancing our quality of life, enhancing the general forgiveness and generosity amongst other human beings when we realize that we are all the same thing. We are all part of the same species. You are I, and I are you.
Yeah.
You know, and like realizing that anytime we hurt each other, we are hurting ourselves. And that's something that you can learn it in other ways, but the quickest way to get everybody on board is mushrooms, honestly.
No, for sure. I honestly think if they dosed the water in America and like everyone just started tripping, man.
If I was president, I would put nothing but LSD in all the water.
That's the first dirty thing I would do as president. But I would be curious to see. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people would show up at the psych ward at first, but that's kind of thinning the herd.
Hey, thin the herd, man. Let's get them all in the psych
ward.
But
then, like, how would the rest of us evolve? The rest of us that aren't prone to having psychological breaks. I really do think like it would evolve our culture for sure. Maybe even our brains.
Dude, faster with definitely our brains.
Because I don't think the human being is done evolving. And I think psychedelics honestly could be that thing. You know, some people, the stoned ape theory, they think the reason monkeys even evolved into humans is because they were eating mushrooms and psychedelic plants.
And I don't even know how much I need to buy into that idea to then buy into what you just said, which is that it will fundamentally, think about it. Think about who you were before psychedelics, right? You are already more evolved than you were before.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of your actions now are a more higher thinking version of yourself. That can't not affect the people around you.
No, for sure. And then people are like, well, then you need psychedelics. How do I get there without psychedelics? There's a way.
I mean, meditation.
But
yeah.
But
it takes
these are
longer.
cheat codes.
Yeah.
It's like, you could fucking walk all the way to fucking
But why,
California from Chicago, but why not get on the fucking airplane? Yeah. Get with the times, people.
And here's the thing: as you spend enough time in the airplane, you realize that you do need to be on the ground too.
Yeah.
But that's the idea: is that you get a preview of where you need to go with the airplane, and then you can then make the trek on land, and maybe you have a bike now because you know how to navigate it. You already know the road. You've seen the road map, and it's so much easier to go down a road you've gone before. You don't have to look like every street sign like, oh, fuck, is it this turn? Do I make a turn here? It's like, no, I've already seen these turns.
And if we could somehow get a list of like all the things psychedelics has actually brought people that they're not aware of, like pretty sure Steve Jobs was heavily influenced by psychedelics.
Dude, he
so
literally
you could
said
say that the reason we even have
everything
iPhones is because of LSD. The guy who came up with the double helix, right? He said he was on LSD. I mean, just look at music. Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's. We wouldn't have that without LSD. It's like, personally, if you looked at my art before I ever took psychedelics, and then you look at my art now, completely different.
Yeah, game changer.
Completely different.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, your art's amazing. Well, it's like, well, it would have been dog shit if it wasn't for psychedelic. No, but it really did change the way I look at things. And the same way that I make music and stuff. It's just, it opens your eyes to just different possibilities. And
it genuinely expands the possibility space of your mind.
It says that.
So if you were normally like, this is your way of thinking before LSD, afterwards it's like this, and every time you do it, I think it makes it.
Yeah, if people can't see, Kevin's hands are just. Floodgates are
opening. Like I'm going from a little like rectangle to a semicircle. You know what I mean? And that's how much wider your perception becomes. And it's not to say again that you can't achieve it in other ways. You totally can. But if you want a preview of how far your mind can stretch, you need to stretch the mind a little bit first.
Yeah.
And when you're doing meditation, you're only stretching the mind a little bit at a time. It's safer, it's slower, it's more steady, but psychedelics can stretch you really, and it might snap back a little bit, you know, it's like a rubber band a little bit. It might snap back a little bit, but you know it can stretch that far now. And so then you can meditate and build your way to stretching even further, to then getting it more naturally sitting at this wider perception.
Yeah, like I feel, at a certain point, it's like, dude, my mind's been so open. It's like, there's probably close it a little bit.
Yeah,
it's almost too open at this point. No,
yeah, dude.
No, it's good, but it's I got to give credit where credit's due. And it's like, sorry if you don't want to hear that, but
yeah, I'm sorry if it doesn't fit the narrative of like the straight-laced and look at this nice,
I am
fine
not
young gentleman. Like no.
Now, I am a zigzag line with a fucking.
But I think what's important is that just because we have psychedelics are tools that we use in our arsenal does not make us bad influences for children.
No,
like,
that makes me a horrible person.
Tell me that the things that we are saying are not good influences. Like objectively, these are good things to think about. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you spending your time on? Are you following your passions? Are you living your life consciously? Are you investing time in things that are going to reinvest in you? Those are questions that I'm asking.
Yeah.
Partially because of
Are you
my
steering the
understanding
ship,
from psychedelics.
or are you just fucking?
Or are you just riding the current?
Yeah, you just getting thrown around. Which sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Yeah,
but you still gotta know when to juke left, when to juke
you
right.
gotta know when to take over the wheel, because sometimes it is important to let
Jesus take the wheel.
Well, sometimes it's important to let the sail go, right?
Yeah.
And to let the wind take you, because the wind, you don't want to fight the wind with a sailboat.
No, you
right?
still gotta trust the
But-
motherfucking process.
But you might need to steer it to avoid some rocks along the way, even though the wind is pushing you generally in the right direction. So it's just understanding when to take control and when not to, because that's what I've learned from psychedelics. Is like sometimes I need to take control, and other times I literally need to let go.
Yeah.
And psychedelics will teach you to let go, bro. If you don't want to let go, that is when trips become quote unquote
yeah,
bad
you better
trips.
be ready to let go, because
Yeah.
don't try to hang on, because that's where honestly, a lot of people have bad trips when they try to just control it. And if some dark shit's coming up, you have
and
to
change the
confront it.
language. Change the language. Bad trip, not
Tough
a good
trip.
way. It's not a good way of describing it. A difficult trip.
Difficult. Yep.
That is a better way to describe it, because difficult implies that although it was tough, you got through the other side. Bad trip implies there was nothing good that came from it.
Yeah.
All of my panic was totally unjustified. I was nothing but in a prison of my mind, and it was all because of the drug. It's not because my life sucks and I have no ambition and I don't know where I'm going. It's not that, though. It's
No,
totally not that.
I mean, if you're
it's not that.
yeah, because if you're in a bad place and you hide from it, it's buried, and you bury it in the back of your head, and
It's
you
gonna
avoid
be-
all your problems.
it's gonna be
that
difficult.
shit's gonna come straight to the surface, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be the message. So you don't even necessarily need psychedelics, because you know already where
know,
you're fucking
yeah.
up. But
Yeah.
psychedelics are beautiful, where they'll highlight the shit out of that and make it so in your face that good
You can't
luck
ignore it.
forgetting that shit. You're gonna wake up in the middle of the night for the next week being like, "Fuck, I'm a piece of shit." Like,
Well, and also what it does when you do have these like more difficult trips is that it allows you to begin the healing process, because sometimes you got to rip a Band-Aid off, and there's no better way than to confront something head on. Because dude, it's something that like I know some friends have like talked to me about, where they're like, yeah, but like I'm like depressed, like aren't I gonna have a bad trip? I'm like, no, not if you want to be better. Because if you want to be better, those difficult things, instead of hammering you over the head with it, it's not going to do that. If you're willing to change, it's going to be like, here, listen, we understand. This is the context of why you think the way you do. These experiences are what influenced you. This is why you have this defense mechanism. This is why you act this way. However, look at all these ways you can change that. That is what the vibe of the trip is going to be. That's how it's always been for me. Anytime I've ever had like a difficult part of a trip, it's always showing it to me so that I can then move forward. And because my attitude was that I wanted to make changes for things that I was not happy about myself with, it will go with me. Because guess what? It's your mind.
Yeah.
Your mind has its own best interest in mind. It's trying to
well,
make
and the way
better.
you and I are describing trips, people are like, what kind of hippies are these? These guys are doing self-exploration and therapy while they're tripping. But, like, you
It's
know,
what I
when's
use
the
it for.
last time you sat down with a couple beers and you were like, I'm going to figure my life out? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could do that with weed. You could get a little high.
Yeah.
But there's certain drugs that lend themselves to helping you with personal growth, and then there's some that is just like not. And any drug you can use recreational, but we're really, you know, what we're preaching, which I think is good advice, is like, I'm telling you, use the drug as a fucking tool and see where it can help you. I'm not saying, oh yeah, eat some mushrooms before the next time you go see a Drake concert or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, yeah, you're not going to have maybe you'll have a life-changing experience from that, but because I think it creates
You need
mystical experiences no matter what.
You need time with yourself, though,
But
in
maybe-
order to have the transformative
Yeah, you need time with
experience.
yourself.
A
And
concert is a distraction because
Yeah.
it's external stimuli that is
not
gonna
to say
distract
you're
you.
not going to have a good time.
No,
You'll
you
probably
will.
have a good time. But
It won't be a
if
profound
you're
experience.
trying to get something out of it
You need to-
personally,
You need to
personal
do it
growth,
by,
then you need to do the set and setting, which is like in a trusted place, like chill and fucking, you know, somewhere you're comfortable, and then be ready to do that work.
Yeah,
But
I
you
agree.
know, so I mean, I think that's why it's like, oh, you know, is it positive the way you guys are promoting fucking drug use? But I'm promoting using them as
Responsible.
fucking tools. Yeah, responsible drug
tool
use.
use.
I'm not telling you
I-
to just
fuck
eat
the word-
mushrooms and get fucked up and sit on the fucking couch. That's the
Hell
worst
no.
thing.
Yeah, no,
I
fuck
can't
that.
watch TV when I'm tripping because I already have like
An
semi,
aversion
like,
to
just-
it, yeah.
I already don't understand. Like, I already kind of hate TV because I realize that it's mind control and that it's just fucking.
It's called
fucking up.
programming. For
Yeah,
a
it's
reason.
programming the shit out of us, and so many people, it makes them so complacent. I wonder all the time, what would motherfuckers do if there wasn't a TV? I ask my parents this all the
Yeah.
time. What the fuck would you do if you didn't have a TV? You'd start painting. You'd start knitting. You would do something
to
because
keep
you would
you
be
entertained.
bored as fuck with your. Even though you work 40 hours and stuff, and you just want to relax when you get home. Well, I guarantee if you got home and you didn't have a TV and you relaxed on the couch, probably getting better relaxation. You know, sitting on
More
TV
mindfulness.
just seems so destructive. And I get it. People love their fucking Netflix. They love that shit. And don't get me wrong. There's better content out there than ever. But I don't know, man.
Well,
I'm not a fan of mindlessly.
This reminds me of that Cold Fusion video, which I'm going to link in the description of this podcast, because what it talked about was something that you and I both agree on, where it's like the crucial moments in a person's life is moments of reflection, moments of boredom that forced you to be creative.
Oh, what is this from?
The Cold Fusion video, where it was like he was talking about like how kids nowadays, instead of having these
What is
moments,
Cold Fusion?
it's just the name of the channel.
Oh,
it's this
okay.
Australian dude.
Because I remember listening to it. Because I
Yeah.
remember what you just said. Like,
Yeah,
him
so-
talking about.
So basically, they had on these scientists who were studying children, and it's just like a snippet he pulled from the internet, and these scientists were saying that the kids coming up nowadays have less empathy for one another, which is why there's like cyberbullying and all this, like, you know, Facebook is a toxic culture and all these other like social media platforms that are honestly creating more harm than they are good at this point. And that one of the reasons behind it is that these kids, instead of having moments of reflection, instead of having moments of boredom and thinking with their thoughts and understanding themselves, they can now distract themselves with the phone at any moment.
Yeah.
So they can get dopamine hits from likes on Instagram and Facebook and whatever, and they can go on YouTube and like just numb themselves to never actually thinking about how they're feeling.
Never
Or-
self-reflecting.
Yeah,
they're just chilling.
they're not analyzing
A
themselves.
lot of people are
which
scared to
means
do that.
if you're not self-reflecting, that means you have less empathy for other people.
Yeah.
So then you're immediately going to come from the place of, fuck this inconsiderate piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, you're being the inconsiderate piece of shit because you're not reflecting on yourself. You're not realizing that you're being selfish in a particular way.
Yeah, which I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know what triggered it, but it was like the paradox of being selfish. Because if you tell me, Kevin, if you're like, Joe, you're being selfish, you're technically being selfish to tell me that I'm being selfish, you know?
Because I want time with you or
Yeah,
whatever.
so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
you being selfish.
Yeah.
But telling, like, so it is a mindfuck. Not to say that I might not be being selfish. I think,
Yeah.
like, honestly, I'm a pretty selfish person.
I mean,
To love yourself more. What is that King
I'm-
Lois line?
Yeah,
If you
it
could-
ain't selfish to love yourself more. Because if you loved you more, maybe you could love a few more.
And I think that is true because
Open up a few doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember all the words.
but that is true because it's like I say selfish, but I mean like you have to put yourself first. Everyone does.
Yeah.
You got to take care of yourself.
take care of yourself, and then you can take care of other people.
Yeah, then you could.
If you're drowning, you can't save another person from drowning.
No, for sure.
So,
Exactly. Put on your oxygen mask first.
Yes. Put on your oxygen mask first in the airplane before you help the person next to
Yeah,
you.
and it's like
Because if you both pass out before neither one of you get it on, then you're fucked.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are looking for people to put on their fucking oxygen mask for. You know, a lot of people are looking for someone to save them or whatever. Like, well, I'm just gonna meet her and she's gonna make everything okay.
Don't
and,
save her. She don't want to be
she don't want to be saved.
As the wise words of Jermaine Cole.
But no, but I really think if you as cheesy as it sounds, you learn to love yourself and you learn to take care of yourself and love where you're at and appreciate that, then you're able to help other people and you're able to be a better friend to people and be
Better
more
role
aware.
model. Dude,
Yeah.
people will literally learn without you telling them anything. We'll just learn from watching you do
But
shit.
there are people that do the opposite because there is, you can get a really big self-esteem boost or whatever from helping others. And that's great. And you should help others. But I've met a couple people where all they do is they help others and they invest
don't
in
help
others, but they
themselves.
never invested in themselves. And then when I realized that, because I automatically assume, I'm like, oh, you invest so much in other people, you must have invested a lot in yourself. And then I've realized they're like, no, I hate myself. That's why I help other people to like not. I'm like, dude, that's
Damn.
some dark shit.
That's some dark shit.
And like, I'm thinking of one person in particular. I'm not going to name names, but that still was shocking to me because I'm like, you help so many people, and then you're telling me that you really don't love yourself, and you try to just love other people and that's awesome, and I admire what you're doing for others. But it is interesting that your motive is the opposite of what I thought, and it's basically masking, this. You can't love yourself, but you know how to love others.
Yeah,
which is
but that's what the thing is like. Do you really love others if you don't love yourself? because you can only understand how to love another
Yeah,
person.
is it like a
once you know
superficial
how to
love? Like
yeah,
it's more
I
of
think
like
it is superficial.
you know,
I think it becomes an ego thing.
and that's the whole thing about like just saying the right things. Like say it because that's just the right thing to say. Well, if it's bullshit, it's not gonna resonate with the person. Like, oh, I should tell her she looks nice, even though I hate that fucking shirt she's wearing. Oh, your shirt looks so nice. It's like people are just like, oh, you basically told me my shirt sucks without saying it.
Yeah.
Where you're better off just telling them like, bro, that shirt,
ditch it.
That ain't it, chief.
Yeah, this ain't it, chief. Yeah, no, I agree. I think like people can feel when you're being authentic.
Yeah.
And that is so important of like, this shit needs to come from a place of true understanding. And there's a reason why we can talk about this shit forever, and it's because we've learned it and ingrained it in our own lives. We're not fronting here. Like we've gone through hard shit to
like
get
just
to where we're
everyday
at.
shit.
This is just what we do. This is what we do here.
Like
this
y'all,
is why,
y'all missing out that we aren't mic'd up 24/7 because me and Kevin be having some golden conversations.
We always have fun
and some
conversations like
fucking
this.
having a blast.
But that's the cool thing is that like we found each other and we were already kind of on the same wavelength, and then we've only like amplified each other's frequency.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely feel like since I've been here, part of the reason why I keep leveling up, so to speak, is because of you. And the same way that I feel like I have an impact on you to level up.
We both help each other out.
We just
in
push
so many
each other.
ways. Yeah.
And it's fucking awesome. And like I couldn't have asked for a better person to figure out this whole journey with. Than
man.
you, honestly. I'm so grateful, bro.
No, man, it's been a fucking wicked wild ride. And I think like just the universe like rewards you, man. If you take the leap, like 4 years ago, I moved to Chicago, like not very far, just like an hour in the suburbs, but got out of my parents' house, saved up money, moved on my own, and just knew that I wanted to be an artist. And I wanted in particular be a musician and invest in myself and just spend time, figure it out. And I got comfortable with being the starving artist. And it's like, man, when I took that leap, it's just like so many things just fell into place. When a lot of people in my life at the time, like a girl I was dating, my dad telling me, oh, it's not going to work out. Good fucking luck finding an apartment. Fucking found an apartment right off the bat. It was like gold. Met some really cool people. And yeah, and it's just like little things just fall into place. And people can be like, to me, it's like synchronicity.
White privilege.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's only white privilege. Nothing you did means anything because you're white.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, it is.
I know. I'm kidding.
I know for
I'm just
sure.
saying that there's some people are going to be like,
yeah.
well, easy for
fine.
you to
well,
say.
I got a
as
bunch of
straight
white friends
male.
still living in their fucking parents' basement. So what's their privilege doing? And I mean, I guess it's privilege to live in your parents' basement. But that's white privilege too.
I guess.
I don't know. As long as you're white, you got white privilege. And I'm not denying it. I'm like, no,
sure.
there's definitely
There's
some
definitely
privileges,
white privilege,
but I'm
for sure.
still out here fucking grinding, working for my shit. And when I get there, once again, if you come at me with that bullshit and say, oh, it's because you're white, I'm just going to laugh and walk away. I'm not even going to engage you because I'm just going to, my brain's going to go, oh, he's talking shit. He said that, uninformed.
Projecting, man.
Bulletproof, bro.
Yeah, I'm
this soul is bulletproof.
Well, it's like what Charlemagne and I have my gripes with Charlemagne, but it's like what Charlemagne says is like, if you own your own truth, nobody can touch you.
Yeah.
Like nobody can
unfuckwittable.
Yeah, nobody can fuck with you when you're just being 100% yourself. And it's like they can not like it. That's fine, but they really can't hate on what you're doing because you're being authentic and true to yourself.
And dude, and sometimes it's the hardest thing. It's the easiest thing in the world, but also the hardest thing to just be yourself. Like it's so easy to be yourself when you're around the right people and right circumstance. But sometimes it's hard in our society just to like the easiest thing, just be yourself because everyone's telling you to be something different and everyone's asking you to portray this. And with Instagram and all this social media, we're all trying to put on this like portray like this. Oh, like this looks like that. We're like trying to make this image, which that is so weird to me. It's
not real,
because
man.
I understand like companies do that. There's a marketing strategy. There's all this branding. Even as an artist, like, oh yeah, Drake's got to look cool. He's got to be. There's got to be pictures of him popping bottles in the club. We can't have Drake fucking reading books at the library and shit. And which like I disagree, but I understand that people are trying to. You have to build this image, but the average person doesn't have to do that, and they shouldn't. And even companies, that's false branding. Because then when I find out that your fucking brand is fake and you guys said you were all organic and you guys are using some fucking bullshit.
How many Samsung ads need to be tweeted from an iPhone before we realize who's the king? I'm just saying.
Shots fired.
I'm just saying.
Shots fired.
But no, that's how I want to end this one. Because like I can't top that. I agree. 100%. Just be authentic, man. Be you. Be more you than you've ever been, and understand who that person is. Take some time to legitimately unplug from your phone, fucking reflect. Who the fuck am I? What do I want? And like Alan Watts says, like, what do I desire? And he's like, and he literally says, he's like, you need to figure out what you want to do, and do it.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Forget the money.
It's pretty simple because everyone deep down, and I love asking people this question, where it's like, what would you do if money wasn't an option? Like, what would you do if you didn't have anything? You hit the lottery, whatever.
Shit I'm doing right now.
Yeah. So you would just keep drinking wine and keep watching Netflix. No, but the average person, and most people know somewhere, whether it's they think their dream's too crazy. Well, I always just wanted to be a singer and a guitar player. Well, fucking do it. Don't fucking, don't be 60 and on your...
And here's the thing, dude. You don't have to be the number one in the world to still be living a fully fulfilled, satisfied life.
You don't even, like...
Dude, if you're just getting paid a little bit to do gigs here and there, even if you have a regular job,
yeah,
that's still winning, bro, because you're spending time you want to spend doing shit you want to do.
Like I said, the past 4 years, I've been a starving artist. It's been the most rewarding 4 years of my life. It's also been the lowest income I've ever lived on, but it's the happiest I've ever been because I'm doing my shit. I'm doing everything I want to do, and it doesn't even matter. And I'm at the point where, like, I haven't been validated. I haven't even... I've barely reached my potential, but I feel fucking amazing because I'm just doing the shit I want to do. And it's not that hard, people. If you like doing something, fucking do it. Even if there's some shit in your way, you can figure out how to do it, take it day by day, and keep walking in that direction rather than walking away from, because I don't even know who you are, but listen, it's somewhere in you. You know what you're meant to do. And even if it's something crazy, like I want to be a boat captain and you live nowhere near the ocean. Figure it out, bro.
Then start moving in that direction.
Listen to that crazy little voice in your head.
You don't have to hop on the flight tomorrow, bro. You have to just start planning the little things.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I knew I wanted to come to Chicago before I ever left Florida. But I didn't just leave. I had a plan.
Yeah.
I decided when I was going to do it. I figured out when Second City was starting their next classes. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. I quit my job. I made sure I saved enough money. It's not like this shit is just like, you just do it.
And it's not going to happen overnight.
It's not going to happen overnight,
I'm 4 years in, and I'm not where I thought I would be and where I want to be. I'm not satisfied. But I'm also grateful because I'm closer than I've ever been. And I see like all the pieces falling in place, which while we're here, because since I know we're going to end this, let me plug some shit.
Yeah.
joeyt.com. Check out the art.
Dude, definitely
got
check
music.
out his art.
chickendolphin.com. We didn't talk about that last time I was on the podcast. Go back into Kevin's backlog, listen to the Heroic Dose story of the Chicken Dolphin. But now there's a band. There's a band called the Chicken Dolphin.
Named after the Chicken Dolphin. And you guys haven't heard
we
about...
are groovy. And we're about to put some music out.
Soul Factory yet.
They haven't heard about the Soul Factory.
They haven't heard about the Soul Factory yet.
I don't... We could tell that story. I don't know if we have time. But Chicken Dolphin...
We'll save that for another one.
2019 is the year of the Chicken Dolphin. joeyt.com. Check out the art. Inspired by psychedelics. I mean, if you look at my art and you don't realize that it's psychedelic, then you don't know what psychedelics are.
Then you probably have never tripped before. Yeah.
But,
cool.
Yeah.
Guys, definitely check out Joey's art, man. Like, he's super dope. He's done some crazy shit.
You can buy it.
You can buy it. You can get different sizes. And by the way, he will do custom pieces
Yeah,
for
hit me with an email.
So
because right now I'm not all that busy.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
A couple of you motherfuckers hit me up.
Get some commissions, man. Because ultimately, like, he's made some custom pieces for some people, and that's literally one of a kind.
And the stock's going up. The stock's going up.
Yeah.
So you get a piece early on. You buy an artist.
You buy it at a cheap price.
Not saying I'm going to be a famous artist, but I'm going to be a famous artist. So you buy the pieces at first. Like, you buy one for a couple $100. You're going to be able to sell that thing for a couple thou. Like,
easily.
You don't trust me.
Easily.
Trust me.
And trust me, guys. I see his process. I see what he's doing. Like legit.
Gas me, Kev. Gas me.
No, I'm just saying, like, I see this shit, and I see the work that he puts in, and, like, there's just... I'm a firm believer that there's no way you can't be successful if you keep going.
No, for sure.
So he just has that drive, guys. So if you do buy something that, and I'm not even like saying you have to, but if you do buy something legit, like, it's going to be worth more money later. Whether you believe that now or not doesn't matter, because if you just think it's
because
cool,
the art's
fucking just buy it. But
just buy my art.
But in general, no. But
we're gonna end this podcast with me just begging people to buy art.
But please
buy my art.
I only make $20,000 a year.
Starving artist. That's not starving.
But for real though, like ultimately what you do have to realize is that when we're talking about artists, if you're investing in an artist, you're investing in their future. You're investing in them being able to enhance their creativity.
And trust me, I'm going to give back to the community. If I ever find myself in a Jeff Bezos position, probably not going to be that rich.
I don't know, man.
I'm going to try to give back to
I want people
to
burn in the warehouse. I don't know. I want them
honestly,
to have a heat stroke.
If I ever get to that position where I'm so elevated and I really can make a difference, I'm going to.
Yeah,
and
without question.
Like I said, I think after you make so much money, I don't need more than a few mil. So I would definitely give that shit away. Like I don't
need more than a few mil.
I would definitely invest back in the community and things I agree with.
1,000%, guys.
Everyone, just give me $1.
Just give him $1.
Give me $1. If everyone gave me $1, there's 300 million people. That's $300 million.
That's all he needs.
For me. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I'll just hoard it. No. I mean, jokes aside.
No, don't even. Just give me the Instagram follow.
Just give him the follow.
Give me the likes.
Give me the likes. I need that.
I'm just
I need
kidding.
that dopamine.
Really, I
hit.
don't give a shit about the likes.
Neither one of us give a fuck about that. But yeah, for real, check out Joey's art. It's super dope. Definitely be on the lookout for just more content from us. We got a couple projects.
Yeah, we got some shit up our sleeves.
We got some projects coming that are going to be dope.
Sketches. We got some music.
They're going to be a little more upped in production value. So that's a cool thing is that this podcast has been a great way for us to kind of learn like a shooting process and lighting and everything. But we got some like legit like fun, like some fun stuff and also some I think really cool like hopefully moving
we got
motivational shit coming.
There's some shit coming. 2019 about to be lit.
2019 legit though is going to be like I'm excited because we have everything we need and we have the drive and we
breakout year.
Are ready to
That's what I'm saying. The past 4 years, I've been humble, head down, not talking because I really do believe you just work and you don't talk about it. I don't need you posting that you're working out at the gym. Shut the fuck up and get back to working out at the
just
gym.
go work.
So I took that mentality. I don't talk much, but I talked a lot of shit on this podcast and I'm ready to talk my shit in 2019 because I think I put the work in and now this is the year the shit talking. This is the year
time to back it up, baby.
We about to back that shit up.
Like Chris D'Elia, we're gonna back up the Brinks truck, baby. All right.
Shit.
Cool. And with that, we out.